We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna. We all come from the goddess, and to her we shall return like a drop of rain, flowing to the ocean. Isis, Astarte, Diana, Hecate, Demeter, Kali, Inanna, Inanna. Hey, Tubies! It's Psychic Bob and Lamb Chop. We're hanging out on a Wednesday night. Oh my gosh, it's so good to be with you. Yes, we're on television now. Yes, yes, people can watch us all over the world. Well, look who's all with us today. Oh my gosh, there's Baroness Cola Bobs, our moderator. Hey, Baroness, thank you for your moderation. You rock. Good to see you. What is a moderator? Well, a moderator is going to help out in chat tonight. And if you get out alive, we're going to swat you like a fly. You out of here. So don't make no problem. And oh my gosh, look, there's Kim Osborne is here. Hi, Kim. Erica Rose is here. There's Star Lightworker here. Oh my gosh, there's Caden Sauer here. Yay, good to see you. Wow, we got a lot of people. Isn't that so much fun? I love it. Well, isn't that just something? I'm telling you, we got a lot of people here, and it's so much fun, isn't it? Well, you guys rock, and I am so glad you're here. Welcome. You know, I know last week I mentioned we were going to do building an altar today, but my schedule's been so full, I haven't been able to finish getting stuff together. So we will eventually get to that. But you know, a lot of you have been writing, said, Psychic Bob, we love it when you do question and answers. And I thought, well, you know, well, I think we'll do that tonight. You know, a lot of you have a lot of Wiccan questions, and I thought tonight we'd focus on, you know, answering your questions. But hold your questions, because I got a few more things we got to get through, okay? Oh, look, there's Diana G is here. Yay, there's Kim Osborne. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Kaden. Kaden says, she says, I love that hat, Lord, I said. Hey, Lamb Chest. She said, hi to you. Well, there you go. There's Robert Stevens is here. Isn't that great? Oh, my gosh. Well, you know, I got to remind you, don't forget, this weekend's a very busy weekend for Psychic Bob, because on Saturday, this Saturday, we're going to have psychic development class. And we're going to talk about how to take information you receive psychically and turn it into a three-dimensional data model that you can understand and see three-dimensionally knowledge. So if you want to be in on that, it's pretty complex, but pretty cool stuff. Come join our psychic development class. It's Saturday at 12 o'clock noon Eastern. It'll be held on Zoom. It's 2 hours from 12 to 2. It's $30 for the class. Now, listen, guys, you know, I don't know where else you're going to get a psychic at my level, one of the top in the country, to train you. I've been on all the major networks. I've been a consultant to law enforcement and federal agencies as a psychic. And you're getting trained with me for only $30. So I think it's worth it. I try to keep the price really low on that class. I'm not in it to make a fortune. I'm just trying to cover the bills. That's all. And I really thank you guys for your support. So we have 30 spots in the class. We're about half full right now. So we still have about 15 spots left. So if you want to join, go sign up, because it'll fill up. And I don't let that class go larger than 30, because I try to give everybody individual time in that class. So it's live. Now, this psychic class on Saturday is not a just come and observe and take notes. I don't just teach theory. We do actual exercises. So it's an interactive class. So if you come, I invite you to, you know, show yourself, talk to people, become part of the group. It's a lot of fun. We have such a good time, And I'd love to have all of you there. Baroness Colabobs will be there with us, and we're going to have a great time. Kim Osborne's been in the class, and we have a great time. So think about that. Now, I still have, I think, 3. I got to check the count. Colabobs, check the count when you can. I've still got 3 spots left for Sunday's class. Sunday is going to be Psychic Bob's Inner Circle class. And that's a class where I'm teaching this week on sacred symbols, how to access their power in your life. What are the symbols? How can you use them? What do they mean? And as part of the Inner Circle, I also do private questions. You can bring a few of your psychic questions, and I will answer them for you. It's a small group. We only have the Sunday class is limited to only 10 people, and I think we've got 7 registered already. So there are 3 spots left. Hey, there's Robin Boston. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Welcome. And so, excuse me, so that class, I've got 3 spots left. If you want to get in, send me an email. I'm going to send out invoices later tonight for that. I'd like to, have you in there. Now, the Sunday class is $50, but again, it's 2 hours. It's exclusive. It's not just a class for anybody. This is really for people who are more serious about their spiritual life, or a little more advanced and ready to really make an effort to develop spiritually. That's why I call it the Inner Circle, because in that class, I talk about, my true knowledge about what's really going on in the world, things I cannot talk about here on YouTube due to censorship. And so if you want to get Psychic Bob's real inside scoop, and you really want to ask me the tough questions and really get the answers, come out to the Inner Circle. It's a very special group, and I'd love to have you there. Now, you don't have to have any previous experience in psychic work to join, but you do have to be willing to participate and be active, and that's what we ask for. So come and join. Now, the Inner Circle class is not on my website, so you need to send me an email at my website, PsychicBob.com, and then we'll get you in, okay? Thank you so much. I look forward to hearing from you. If you have questions, ask Baroness Colabobs. She can direct you how to get a hold of all that, okay? Northern Star said their shower is clogged. Oh, no, that's not good. I'm so sorry. Wow. Well, it's so good to have you guys here. And Northern Star, I hope your shower gets sorted. You might have to get one of those snake things to go down the drain, Is it clogged where it comes out, or clogged in the bathtub? At the bottom, the drain. Because if it's not coming out, what you might do is take the shower head off. Sometimes it's just calcium builds up from water deposit. You just scrape it out and it'll be fine. There's Joey Mystified Spirituals here. Yeah, Sherry Draws is here. Hello, Sherry. Good to see you. Welcome. Oh, there's my buddy Sandro Juskin. So good to have all of you here. Well, I am okay. I've been doing a whole day of readings. Thank you to all of you who've been waiting for private readings. I have a bit of a backlog, and so I am getting to people. If you've called me in the last few days or purchased a reading, I am still getting back to people. I'll be do more scheduling tomorrow. Just I'm getting an awful lot of calls. So thank you for your patience. Psychic Bob's getting your messages. I haven't forgotten anybody. Okay. So thank you so much. Hey, Kim. Kim had a good idea for Northern Star. Says soak shower head in vinegar and baking soda. Kim, that's a really good thing to do. That'll clear it out. It's those calcium deposits. Sometimes water has a high lime or calcium content. It's good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Well, tonight we're going to answer your psychic questions. Not psychic, excuse me. I'm answering only Wicca questions. I'm not doing psychic readings tonight. But we'll do psychic readings on Friday night. So, make sure to be here. Okay. Do you want to go over there and sit down so I can talk to everybody? Yeah, okay. You can come back a little later. Maybe we'll sing again. Okay. Yeah, go over there. I tell you, Lamb Chop has his own agenda going on some days. How you like my witch hat? I'm be styling, profiling. you know. And I'm wearing my silver pentacle tonight. This is a magical witch charm. Anybody who studies Wicca should wear a pentacle, I always say. It's not the only charm. You can wear anything, you know. Nigella is there. Hi, Nigella. She says, Bob, every time I see you at Lamb Chop, I remember the one I had when I was little and my dog tore it to bits. Oh, that's traumatizing. No, Lamb Chops. No dog is going to get you. He heard that. He got nervous. I'm sorry, Sugar. Well, you can come here and visit with Lamb Chop all the time because he's always here. Oh, my gosh. Joey Mystified Spiritual Life says, what do you do when you feel lost on your own spiritual life? You know, Joey, the thing that's important when you're talking about developing the spiritual life is try to find a path and really explore it deeply. You know, a lot of people in their spiritual life jump from thing to thing. So they'll do voodoo one week and then they'll go and do, you know, Shinto one week and then they'll do, you know, trying different things. They'll go to the Baptist church. I think it's really good to find one path and fully stay with it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't explore other things within that. But like, for example, my path is Wicca. Now, I do study Shinto a little bit, but really it all, you know, everything is really Wiccan focused. You know, and I think having one path that you know, thing is you got to explore, you got to do the work. And a lot of times what happens is that people, you know, they don't put the energy, they'll get a book, you know, and they'll read a book, but they'll just be what I call armchair Wiccans. Whereas like you said, when, you know, you read the book, but did you actually go cast a circle? Did you do the ritual? Did you do the spell? And I think when you take that teaching that you've learned and put it into practice, that's when it comes to life. So that will help you, you know, read everything you can, but also don't just read, go and do it. You know, as a Wiccan, many of you know, I go out in nature. Tomorrow, in fact, tomorrow we're going to go out in nature on Vlog Thursday. So I hope you'll be with us. We're going to broadcast around 12 o'clock, 12:30, somewhere around there tomorrow, okay? And we're going to go out and look at the earth and talk about that tomorrow. And the Sun Lord. You know, Scott Cunningham, by the way, Joey, this is, if you're interested in Wicca, you might want to get this book. This is one of my faves. It's the first book I ever bought on Wicca. This is probably my like third copy because I read it still all the time. And Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary by Scott Cunningham. You can't go wrong with this. This gives you a way to actually bring the theory of Wicca into a practice that you can actually do. You know, they have daily meditations, how to set altars. You have to do the work to get the benefit with the path. I hope that answers that. There's Shannon Turner. Hi, Shannon. I like your sneer. That looks like me. I got like that too. I'm having a bit of a psychic conflict. I worship Artemis, and the moon is drawn to me on special occasions in my life, but the sun rules everything I do. It's very annoying. Is that a sign or a calling? You know, I think when you have a case like that, remember this, in Wicca teaches duality. Many people that first come to Wicca come because they want to worship the goddess. And there's certainly a lot of that. And a lot of us have been so hurt by traditional religious institutions and traditional concepts of God that a lot of Wiccans initially push the God out of their life. But I think really, Shannon, what's happening with you is that you're discovering that God aspect. Now, of course, you could see the sun as a sun goddess, but in Wicca, traditionally, the sun is a sign of God. So it doesn't have to be a conflict. I worship Isis as a moon goddess, but I worship the sun god as well. And I just call him the Sun Lord because sometimes he's Surya from India for me. Sometimes he's Apollo. Sometimes he's, you know, the other, I can't blank out. Usually I just call him Surya though. Sometimes he's Sol. That's the word. The Roman name is Sol. Doesn't matter what you call him, but the sun god and the moon goddess actually work together. So what I would say to you is, don't think of compartmentalizing. You can only worship one or the other. Sometimes I worship Isis when I just feel that energy. Sometimes I worship the sun god. I have shrines to both in my temple room, which, by the way, I'm working on. Hopefully soon I'll give you guys a tour of that room. So I'm working on it. It's taking me quite a while. Just I've been so busy. And we're going to start filming our videos in the temple room. I'm setting up lighting for that and all that. But really, the Lord and the Lady are important. In fact, I just want to read something to you. I think that's a really good question, Sharon, because I understand where you're coming from with that. Well, I can't find my glasses. So, hold on, let me get my glasses because I can't see this. Hold on, I think they're right over here. Oh, where'd they go? Well, hold on just a second, guys. I'll be in just one moment. All right, so I can't find my good glasses, but this will work. It's like Bob is losing everything all the time. All right, so when we talk about the god and the goddess, okay, we want to understand that they're together. In fact, let me just read this to you. It says, hold on a second. The god has been revered for eons. He is neither the stern, all-powerful deity of Christianity and Judaism, nor is he simply the consort of the goddess. God or goddess, they are equal. They are one. We see the god in the sun, brilliantly shining overhead during the day, rising and setting in an endless cycle that governs our lives. Without the sun, we could not exist. Therefore, it has been revered as the source of all life, the warmth that bursts the dormant seeds into life and hastens the greening earth after the cold snows of winter. The god is also the tender of wild animals. As the horn god, he is sometimes seen wearing horns on his head, symbolizing his connection to these beasts. In earlier times, hunting was one of the activities thought to be ruled by the god, while the domestication of animals was seen to be goddess oriented. Hold on a second. Symbols often used to depict or worship the god includes the sword, the horn, spears, candles, gold, brass, diamond, sickle, arrow, magical wand, trident, knife, and others. Creatures sacred to him include the bull, the dog, snake, fish, stag, dragon, wolf, boar, eagle, falcon, shark, lizard, and many others. Of old, the god was the sky father and the goddess the earth mother. The god of the sky of rain and lightning descended and united with the goddess, spreading seed upon the land, celebrating her fertility. Today, the deities of Wicca are still firmly associated. Oops, are we broadcasting, guys? Hope so. Today, the deities of Wicca are still firmly associated with fertility, but every aspect of human existence can be linked with the goddess and the god. They can be called upon to help us sort through the vicissitudes of our existences and bring joy into our often spiritually bereft lives. Okay, so that's just a little bit from Wicca. So what I would say, Shannon, is embrace both. Some days you're going to worship the Sun Lord. Some days you'll worship Artemis. You know, you may find that your concept of the god and the goddess change over time. In Japan, they worship the goddess Amaterasu, who is the sun goddess, and she's the highest god of Japan, of the Shinto faith. So either way, let their power help you and bless you, Thank you so very much. I hope that helps answer your question. All right, hold on just a second. Baroness Kolobob says, can I ask a question? 3 people have been doing black magic on us. If these are bad people, what will happen to them? Will they get their karma? Oh, yes, Baroness, let me tell you. In the craft, we say, whatever you send out comes back threefold, 3 times 3. So if you do good, you'll receive blessings in your life. And if you do evil, you'll receive sorrows in your life. So black magic is real. Evil magic, whatever you want to call it, has nothing to do with race. But know that every time you do evil, you destroy yourself. In fact, I'm going to show you guys a lesson my teacher taught me years ago. She said, imagine this is your field of power. Here you are, a single person, and you cast into the universe your field of power. Now, that field of power can bless people, heal them, help them, surround them with light and love. But if you send out a force of negative, let's say there's another person over here, and I send out evil to that person, what happens is to get evil to travel, it requires a sacrifice. And a little bit of my cloth is now ripped. Some of my power is gone through doing evil. And if I continue casting curses, destroying lives, wreaking havoc, what becomes of my power? It's diminished. For evil destroys, it rebounds upon the sender and destroys the very sender. And eventually you'll have no power, and you yourself will be destroyed by your own evil. So yes, black magic works, and people can do it, but there's a terrible price to pay. Sorrow will follow you, and you will become lost, and in the end you'll be destroyed, and there'll be nothing left. So I invite you to consider that. And for those who do these curses, and if you're one of the people here tonight doing curses, you will be destroyed. I don't have to destroy you. You see? So yes, they'll get their karma, and they'll have a life of suffering and sorrow. You see? CT says, many witches were murdered in my area a few hundred years ago. How can I build a connection with them? I feel like they would be good protectors because of all that they suffered. Well, it's as simple, really, CT, as simply asking. When we attune to the spiritual realms, we want to raise our vibration. To raise your vibration means to think good thoughts, to project that to the cosmos, and to say, I'm open to receiving your friendship. I offer my friendship. Witches of Salem, I send you my light and love. May you be healed in the sufferings you endure. I send you my blessing. And in turn, remember, as we say in the craft, whatever you send out will come back. So send the blessing, and you'll receive the blessing. Just start talking to them. Do some research on the history, and maybe you'll find a name or two that you'll just feel like, when you read their story about that witch, you'll think, I feel like I connect with them. Start calling on them, light a candle, offer a light to them, make some offerings, and you'll start to build a rapport and a bond, you see? So I think that, just to take some effort to try to connect, try to talk, try to invite, and I think that you'll start to see that you do make a connection. The spirit world is not far away. Everybody has this idea that it's far off and across the universe. Spirit world is right here. It surrounds us on all sides, but it's at a higher frequency, a higher vibration. You see? So, anyways, yeah, I hope that helps a little bit. Thank you for being here. Shannon Turner says, very interesting. You guided me into realization that the sun god brings a lot of danger to light, maybe showing me things I'm blocking out. Yes, the sun lord will illumine your mind. If Shannon, I don't know if you've seen when I go out and do vlogs, I oftentimes, when we're out, do a prayer to the sun god, and I ask him to illumine our minds and hearts. We'll do that tomorrow. So if you're here tomorrow around noon, we'll do a live show, and you can join me as I do an invocation to the sun god. Love to have you here. Thank you. Northern Star says, I visited Amaterasu Shrine when I was in Japan. Very beautiful. Vultures. Oh, Northern Star, I'm envious. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I think that I have this feeling if I go to Japan, I'm going to end up living there. You know, I tell you. Baroness Colabobs, are you up for Japan? Northern Star says, is it possible as a Wiccan to develop telepathy? Well, yes, because Wicca encourages study of the psychic arts, study of the sciences of the mind. Magic is very much a telepathic process. We raise power, we project it into the cosmos. The same energy that is used in magic is very similar to the energy that is used in telepathy. Now, Wicca itself does not necessarily, telepathy is not part of Wicca in the sense that it's a tenet of the faith, but there are many Wiccans who explore it, you know. So, you know, I teach a Saturday class, Northern Star. You might want to come on psychic development, and we do some of the telepathy in that. So every Saturday I have a psychic development class, and most people have told me that they feel like they're opening psychically, they're getting information, and it's pretty amazing. So, but as a Wicca itself does not teach telepathy. But as I said, there are many who explore the psychic arts within that. Okay. Hope that helps. Thank you so much. Yay. Raymond Hampton says, is black magic when people put money on graves and calls themselves praying to the dead? Can be, but not necessarily. Down in the South, in like Louisiana and like New Orleans and all, a lot of people have tradition. They go call on their ancestors for help, and they'll leave an offering. That comes out of the voodoo magical traditions. And by the way, I just want to say about voodoo. Voodoo is not evil. It has evil. There are, like any practice, it's good and bad. Voodoo as a religion actually focuses on healing and light and connection to deity. So when you hear people say, well, I practice voodoo, don't instantly go, oh, they're cursed, they're bad. There's a lot of really positive in voodoo. People actually study it. So putting money on the graves and praying to them is actually a tradition of voodoo, and particularly in Louisiana, but it's not always bad. Okay. So it just depends on the person. Raymond, that's something you could do if you don't have to be in Louisiana or New Orleans. You can go anytime. If you have a relative you feel close to, go into their grave, talk to them, bring an offering. It's a wonderful way to connect. Robert Stevens says, I am glad my spirit animal is a hawk and not a cardinal. There you go. The Seahawks. Hey, there's Jenna. Hi, Jenna. Good to see you. Welcome. Jenna says, sorry I'm late. You're here just in time. Glad you made it. There's Nigella. Oops, hold on, I just lost her question. Nigella says, Bob, what is the best way to ask the gods and goddesses for help with something? Well, I think the best way is to start with setting up a sacred place to meet them. Create a little altar where you commune. Now, one of the things, and I've seen this in Wiccan circles that I have to say is, don't just look up some god in a book. And like, let's say you're saying, well, I need rain for my garden. So I'll look up Zeus and say, okay, I'll just pray to Zeus today. Zeus, give me rain for my garden. And the next day you don't think about it. You just go and you pray to a different god. Don't use the gods. Develop a relationship with them. Our Christian friends all say, I have a relationship with Jesus. And I believe that. I think that's fine. But we can equally say, I have a relationship with Cernunnos. I have a relationship with Pan. I have a relationship with Isis. You see? Get to know the gods, and then you can ask. I think it's very rude to just find a god and instantly start demanding stuff, because the gods are people with feelings and hearts and emotions. How would you like it? And I'm not saying you're doing this, Nigel, but like, imagine if you're just walking down the street, some stranger comes up to you and says, hey, Nigella, listen, can you give me money for a car? And you're like, I don't even know you. I don't know what you're about. Who are you? Why do you want money for a car? Maybe you will help them get a car, but you need to know who you're giving that money to, right? It's the same with the gods. Get to know them before you ask anything of them. And then you'll be in communion with them and you'll have a friend. I think it's always polite, especially in the ancient pagan cultures. It was traditional to never ask for anything without an offering of a gift. So offering of a candle, offering of food, We're going to go out soon when it gets warmer and do a blot ritual. A blot is an offering to the fae people. A lot of people tell me, I love to work with the fairies. And I say, isn't that great? And I say, remember to make your offerings, because it hurts their feelings if you don't. So bringing a gift, I think, is always a smart thing to do when asking for anything from the gods, goddesses, the fae, any spirit beings. All right. I hope that helps. Blessings to you. Hi, Jenna. Jen says, hi, Bob. I hope you're feeling better today. I am, Jenna. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. My throat's just a little tired because I've been doing so many readings. I've been doing readings all day and then on and off and scheduling, and it's been a busy day. Thank you. I'm doing good. Good to see you here. Robin Boston says, which religion is it that put coins on the eyes of the deceased to pay their way to the other world? I think that was in ancient Greece. They used to do that because they would be crossing the river Styx. And I think it was the Greeks that did that. Maybe the Romans too. Anybody know about that? I'm not really sure. But I'm pretty sure the Greeks and the Romans did that. Tanya Suilo is here. Hi, I'm from Louisiana, and we put coins and rocks and crystals on our loved one's grave. Isn't that beautiful? I think it's really nice to honor those who have crossed over. I believe that the soul is eternal and it can see and know and, all of that. So, Tanya, I think that's lovely. Thank you for sharing that. I wish I lived in Louisiana. I think there's so much more magical energy down there. I really do. Baroness Kolobov just said, I've got an owl outside my window making some racket. Bob, do you think this owl is my familiar now? I do. I have to tell you, Cola, I think, when you had the your pigeon, Lord Bob, I think it got out to the bird world that you helped that bird. I think they saw you take it in and it was injured. And I think the birds trust you. They know your heart. Animals have pure hearts. I do think that owl is one of your familiars. So I've picked up owls spiritually around you. Now you literally have an owl banging on your window. So yeah, I would claim that as your familiar. Yes, I believe so. Jenna says she loves owls. Aren't they wonderful? My mom loved owls, you know. I have to wear my owl pin for you guys, you know. So Starlight Worker says, it varies. Coins on the eyes can be found in Old Catholicism, Christianity, Egypt, and even some Asian places. Okay, so that goes around the world. You're welcome. Nigella from me says, thank you, Bob. I really appreciate the answers. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Robin Boston said, I had a noisy owl for a while too. He finally left, but I loved him. Oh. Bears Columbine said, Robin, he's right outside. Had to turn up the volume on my iPhone. Oh my gosh. You know, when we talk about Wicca, you know, especially for those of you who are interested in Wicca, I really can't emphasize. There are two books I recommend. This one, again, I showed you, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. Okay, love this book. When I first started in Wicca, this is the book I first read. I literally walked into, I can tell you where it was, Brentano's bookstore. Y'all remember Brentano's? It used to be a bookstore. I think it's gone now. But I had a shop at a mall. This is around 1999. And this lady came in my shop and had a reading with me. And she says, Bob, you're the coolest witch I ever met. And I was like, witch? No, I'm a spiritualist. I'm a psychic. She said, oh, come on, you're a witch. We know it. And I thought of myself as a spiritualist, not a Wiccan. They're different religions, but I practice spiritualism as well. But at the time, I was identified as a spiritualist. And I thought, what is this witch? Why? Later that day, I had another lady come in. She said, this is so cool to find a local witch. Again, I got called a witch. I thought, what is all this stuff people call me a witch? I didn't understand it. You know, it kind of disturbed me because I thought of witches were like evil or something. So I walked upstairs to Brentano's in the mall that I worked at. And I walked in there and sitting right on the edge, I said to them, do you carry, funny part was I went up to the counter and I asked the girl, I thought, do you carry books on witches? And she lit up with a spell. She's like a teenager. She's, oh, we got a whole section on witchcraft. She was all excited and took me back there. And when I was looking at all these books, I thought, oh my God, I didn't know there were so many books on witchcraft. This one I saw, this is what it looked like. You see the edge of this book here? I saw the green edge. It looked, this is not the original, but it looked just like this. And I saw Wicca in big bold letters. And I said, that's the book I need. So I just pulled it out and I just started reading it, you know. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. I love this tone of this book. So I bought it. That was my first book. And I think I read it in like 2 days. I just couldn't get them. I was so amazed. How did I not know about this religion of Wicca? And I loved religions and studying spiritual paths. But you see, that was the first book I ever got. So I recommend this book for you guys. Highly, highly, highly. And this other is a follow-on. This one's called Earth Power. It's also by Scott Cunningham. Both of these will give you an understanding of some of the Wiccan spirituality, you know. Hold on a second. Tanya Solio says, yes, it's wonderful and very spiritual here in Louisiana. So many different beliefs. See, I love that. I think that's great. Bears Kolobob asks, why do witches attract animals and birds? I think because we attune our spirits to the energy of the earth, of the cosmos. To be a Wiccan puts you in alignment with the natural world. And I think so many people, especially today, are disconnected from that world. But witches retain that or rediscover it. And I think the animals can feel that. You know how we can go into a room and just get a vibe like, oh, that person over there, they're going to be trouble. They're a negative person. Even before you meet them, animals are sensitive like that. They can just feel like, oh, that person is going to kill me or hates animals. And then when a witch comes along who's truly alive, they're like, wow, there's something about that person. They have a sense too, just like we do. You know, that's what draws them. Caden Sauer asks, can you explain how Wiccans see divinity? Every religion has different perspectives on the realm of the divine. Well, Caden, in fact, I think I'll read, I think it's in this book. Hold on. I got some I'll read to you to give you an understanding of that. In a nutshell, we believe that divinity expresses itself in two natures, the Lord and the Lady, the God and the Goddess. That the cosmos is really, how do I say it? It's a mixture of divine masculine and divine feminine. And people say, well, I don't believe in a goddess and a god. I believe only in God. Well, you know, Wiccans draw their concept of divinity from observing the natural world. If we look, male and female exist in all life. We have male birds, female birds. We have male dogs, female dogs. We have male humans, female humans. Even biologists say there's male plants and female plants. You know, and there's male and female energy in plants. So all the universe reflects that. And so we believe that the divine has given in this example in the world around us. And so the goddess and the god are male and female. You know, like if you think about the ideal life, right? When a child is born, it's really best, and sociologists say this, for there to be a father and a mother, right? Why? Because that's the divine order, it brings balance to the child's life. And we believe that our loving father and mother would never abandon us. See, this is where I disagree, and no offense to Christians here. Christianity has you born into a single parent household with a stern father. Is it any wonder that people leave that religion? Wicca is a little, in my opinion, now I'm being controversial here, but Wicca is more balanced and gives people a chance to come into wholeness within themselves. Okay, so that's my thoughts on that. I'm going to read you, Caden. This is from this book, Before Time Was. Okay, this is Scott Cunningham's book. Before time was, there was the one. The one was all, and all was the one. Okay, he's talking about the God force. And the vast expanse known as the universe was the one, all wise, all pervading, all powerful, eternally changing. And space moved. The one molded energy into twin forms, equal but opposite, fashioning the goddess and the god form, the goddess and God from the one and of the one. The goddess and the god stretched and gave thanks to the one, but darkness surrounded them. They were alone, solitary, save for the one. So they formed energy into gases, and gases into suns and planets and moons. They sprinkled the universe with whirling globes, and so all was given shape by the hands of the goddess and God. Light arose, and the sky was illuminated by a billion suns. And the goddess and the God, satisfied by their works, rejoiced and loved and were one. From their union sprang the seeds of all life and of the human race, so that we might achieve incarnation upon the earth. The goddess chose the moon as her symbol, and the god the sun as his symbol, to remind the inhabitants of the earth of their fashioners. All are born, live, die, and are reborn beneath the sun and the moon. All things come to pass they are under, and all occurs with the blessings of the one who has been the way of existence before time was. There's a little treatise on the goddess and the god. That's how we see divinity. That's at least how I see divinity, and a number of Wiccans do. You know. Nigella for me says, Bob, I've always been very attracted to crows and owls. Have little statues of them inside and out. The crows will come and sit on the power line and just stare at me. And owls make me feel secure. I love that too. I love crows. I have a really deep connection to crows. Queen Colabob or Baroness Colabobs can tell you many times I'm out walking on the iPhone talking with her, and a crow will land and just start talking to me. She's seen it. I have this natural connection to the crows. I've never really seen many owls where I live, so that's kind of rare, but my mother loved owls and collected them. So I think they're both powerful birds that witches can claim for protection and guidance, you know. You know, if you want to work with a totem animal like a crow or an owl, one of the things you can do, Nigella, is give them tasks to do. So, like I tell the crows when I go, I say, crows, I literally say this walking down the street, any crows who will guide me and protect me today, I welcome you. And you know, sometimes I'll be walking the street and a crow will get right in my path and just stare at me. Like they'll fly down on a low branch or right in front of me. And that's a sign for me, and it'll squawk like I need to go a different path. And I always know when it's telling me to go a different way. And when I change my direction, I find out I averted some danger ahead that I didn't know about. So give them tests, ask them to guide you, ask them to be with you, ask them to keep you out of danger. They will, they understand it, you know? Yeah. That's a really good thing. Thank you for sharing that. Jenna says, my cat is the purest soul. I love her so much. Isn't that wonderful? I think it's lovely. Baroness Colabobs, I don't think we need to explain that. Hold on, I'm trying to find your questions here, guys. I know you got a lot of chat going on here. I don't see any more. Well, anyways, go ahead and make sure to ask your questions. If I missed them, just retype them. I got so much in there, I can't see it all, you know. Nigella just said for me, she says, oh my God, Bob, I'm going to do that with the crows that come into my yard. The other day, there was about 20 of them just hanging around in the front, chatting away. Yes, I am telling you, Nigella, it may sound crazy, but they understand. And once they know you're their friend, they will literally guard you. You can ask Baroness Cole about. She's actually witnessed it, that they protect me. I can't tell you how many times crows saved me. When my stalking was particularly heavy, many of you know I had to deal with stalking issues. The crows would always tell me when not to go a certain way. And I would find out later there were stalkers around the corner. And I averted being in danger. I'm telling you, I have a devotion to them. I love them, you know. I want to read a little passage here from this book, Earth Power, from Scott Cunningham. This will give you a little flavor of what this book is like. I recommend this as well. Both of these books we're going to use in the Order of the Brown Star to craft some rituals with. By the way, for those of you who are members of the Order of the Brown Star, the Wiccan order I started, we're going to have a meeting later this month. I will send out a notice in the next day or so, and hopefully you'll be able to join us for the meeting, okay? Right now, our order is closed. We're not taking new members, but I am going to teach some of the order stuff for those of you who aren't official members. You can be part of the outer court, okay? Robin Boston says, Barnes & Noble bookstore has the Scott Cunningham book plus free shipping. Amazon wants $10 for shipping. Well, there you go. Go get it. Barnes and Noble. Okay. So this is the intro chapter, chapter 1 to Earth Power. I just thought you guys like to hear this. It's kind of magical. It says, the moon glows mystically in the star-scattered sky as a lone figure moves down a deserted beach. The figure stops, bends, and grasps a gray stick washed up on the shore by the restless sea. Pushing the stick's blunt end into the wet sand, the figure sketches a symbol. A wave crashes. The figure moves back, and just as the oncoming water sweeps over the symbol, a gust of wind rises, blowing back the tightly wrapped scarf. A woman's face appears in the soft moonlight. She smiles, confident that the spell has worked, and sits listening to the crashing music of the sea. Why did the woman go to the ocean that night? Why did she draw a symbol on the sand? And how did these simple acts constitute magic? Natural magic, rather the magic of nature, is uncomplicated, is an uncomplicated direct branch of the magical arts, once derived from eons of experimentation by peoples scattered all over the globe. It is perhaps a response to the limitless powers of nature. The power visible in the ever-changing seasons, the blooming of a bud, the birth of the young. Anyways, I won't go on and read all this, but wonderful book. You've got to get it. Hi, Stardust C. Good to see you. Welcome. We're just doing chat questions today. People ask questions about Wicca. That's what we're doing. So you see, guys, when we talk about magic, get some books, study the techniques. This book has spells in it, for example. Let me just give you a little bit of the contents, table of contents. So under elemental magic, it has a chapter on earth magic, air magic, fire magic, water magic, stone magic, tree magic, image magic, knot magic, candle magic, wax magic, mirror magic, rain, fog, and storm magic, and sea magic. There's a lot in this. It's a little book, but I'm telling you, it packs a lot in it. You won't be disappointed. Get Earth Power by Scott Cunningham. Get Wicca by Scott Cunningham. Wicca, a Guide for the Solitaire. These books, this is what the current covers, I think, still look the same. Last I checked. So you can recognize them. You'll find them. Go on Amazon, eBay, wherever you shop, Barnes and Noble, Baroness Kolobob says, Bob, I work with the goddess Morrigan a lot. She chose me. Does she send me the crows as a form of protection? Absolutely, yes. Morrigan is eternally tied to crows and ravens, and she's a powerful protectress. I like to call the Morrigan the Kali of the Western world. In the East, is Starlight Worker still? Starlight Worker in the East, in India, there's the great dark goddess Mother Kali. Well, in the Western world, the Celtic gods, we also have our own form of Kali, which is called the Morrigan. And she's a triple goddess, and she takes 3 different forms. And one of the forms she changes into is either a crow or a flock of crows and ravens. So the Morrigan is a dark goddess. She's oftentimes A president wars and heralds death, but she also brings prophecy and protection. So the Morrigan is our Western Kali Ma, as I say. I love Kali Ma too, you know. So yeah, that's wonderful. Yes, she'll send you those crows as a sign of protection and prophecy as well. You see. I love that. That's a good question. Hi, Kimmy D. Welcome. Starlight Worker says, yeah, Kali is cool. Very cool. My icon is a version of Kali. She has so many wonderful attributes, I think, you know. I love Kali too. Kali Ma Ki Jai. You understand that, Star? Kali Ma Ki Jai. Namaste. Namo Namaha. Baroness Kolobob says, my crow attacked my neighbor when he came to my door as if to say, get lost. They will make a racket as a warning. Yes, they do. Hi, Kim Osborne. Kim says, thank you, Lord Baron Bob and Lady Baroness Kola, for all you do. Such a fresh, relaxing evening here. Wow, Starlight, thank you, Kim. It's a blessing. Starlight Worker also said, wow, Bobby's speaking Hindi. Yeah, I'm acting. I speak Hindi a little bit. Namo Namaha. Kim, thank you for being here. You know, it's so fun to gather and have these times of communication and learning. And, you know, I have been practicing the craft for over 20 years now, since what, 1999? How many years is that? 2022, 23 years. Gosh, where do the years go? 23 years I've been doing Wicca. And I love it. I've stayed with, it's the only religion I've really embraced full-heartedly into my life's Wicca. It's just spoke to me when I've discovered it, and I've been a witch ever since, you know. For a while, I worked with a coven. I had that experience. That was good. But, you know, I moved on and was solitary for many years. And, you know, I think the craft allows you to find your own way. It's not dogmatic. It doesn't demand that you adhere to everything it says. It says, walk your path, you know. Mm-hmm. Kim says, Bob, you are convincing Tommy to the other side in psychic stuff. He wasn't a believer. He's been enjoying your lives when he's not working. Well, thank you, Kim. You know, that's why I started all this, because I wanted to have a place where people could explore these topics, could learn, could ask questions. And I'm glad he's asking the deep questions. These are the soul questions. And once we discover the questions of the soul, our lives change, you see. Starlight Worker says, I'm not Hindu, but I love the many different cultures. I go to church and love Jesus, love Mary, love the temple and Buddha, etc. Oh, that's wonderful. India is a fascinating place, Star, because it really is an amalgamation of so many faiths, you know. I always say when I'm in India, I'll be a Hindu. When I'm in Japan, I'll be a Shinto. Now I'm in the West, I'm a Wiccan. I kind of think that's how I am, you know. Oh my gosh. I love that you love all the deities and you understand the Buddha and Jesus. You know, a lot of people say, Bob, you're Wiccan. Aren't you anti-Christian? I said, no, I'm not anti-anybody. Wicca doesn't require you to renounce the gods that you knew before. I used to worship Jesus. I still do, you know. But I'm a Wiccan. I see maybe a different perspective. That's all. Doesn't mean that anything's bad or I've abandoned it and denounced God and Jesus. I just see God in a bigger way through Wicca. For me, it allows me to find my understanding of divinity. You know, maybe it'll help you. You know, one thing's in Wicca, we're not here to proselytize. I don't preach, you have to be Wiccan. I just say, you know, explore it. It might help you in your life, you know. Starlight Worker says, in Wicca, to be is nature worship. It's also beautiful. People sometimes jump to judge, because they have fear of what they don't understand. It's all balance. Absolutely. Jenna says, I love the Hindu culture. I wish it was more common practice where I live. I know it's hard to find Hindu temples in the Western world, but luckily where I live, we have like 4 different Hindu temples near me. So there's probably more than 4. I know actually maybe about 6 or 7. Hinduism is wonderful. You know, Hindus and Wiccans have a lot in common. A lot of the Hindus worship the god and the goddess, like a Radha, Krishna, Shiva, Parvati. You know, they have the male and female divinities, you know. I think that Wicca shares a lot also with Shinto. If you study the Shinto, they revere nature. Like they see deity in a rock and a tree. And many times, like they'll wait until they find a place they feel sacred, and then they'll build a temple, you know. Anyways, well, guys, I hope I've answered some of your questions tonight. I've got to get off of here. I've got more work to do tonight. But I want to say thank you. PsychicBob loves all of you. So be here tomorrow, probably closer to 12:30. I've got readings in the morning. By the time I get on my clothes and get out of here, probably closer to 12:30. Tomorrow, just watch for the live stream broadcast. Come over close to 12:30, and we'll make it happen, okay? You guys rock. Well, listen, I am so glad you're here. Thank you, Star. Star says informative hour. Starlight Wars says, I was surprised by so many temples up and down the East Coast in the U.S. Wicca can be found in many parts of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Asian culture. Thanks, Bob. Yes, I agree with that. Thank you. Well, listen, big shout out to Baroness Kolobobs, who's our moderator. Thank you for being here, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thank you, CT, for joining us. Thank you. I hope you'll hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Make sure anybody here tonight, if you haven't subscribed, join us. Join our channel. We do it on a broadcast every single day, 7 days a week. You know, so tomorrow we're going to do Vlog Thursday. We're going to go outside and see what's going on with the Sun Lord. I hope we can see him tomorrow. You know, willing if the weather's willing. If it ends up being rainy, we may not go, but we're going to try to go out tomorrow and see what's going on out there, you know. Sandra says, hi, Sandra, and Jessica says, it was amazing. Thank you, all, and Bob. Bye. Have a good night. See y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Yes, so be here tomorrow. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we usually broadcast around noon. Every other day at 7 p.m. So just a minute. So tomorrow's Thursday. We're going to do 12 o'clock, 12:30, somewhere in that time frame. All right. Jenna, good to see you. Thank you. Send my greetings to Julius. You guys rock. I love you. We'll be back here tomorrow. Make sure to thumbs up, like this video, favorite, share with your friends, hit subscribe, be part of the channel. Make sure to visit my website, PsychicBob.com, and register for this Saturday's Psychic Development class. And if you want to be in on Sunday's special group, Psychic Bob's Inner Circle, send me an email at my website. Just go to my website. There's a contact form at the bottom. Shoot me an email and say, Bob, I want to be in Sunday's Inner Circle. I'm going to send out invoices tonight for that. Love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow for Vlog Thursday. And until then, as the Wiccans always say, may you always blessed be.